Hey everybody, it's Amanda. I am doing my monthly budget for April. We just finished off March, so I'm going to use this bill payment tracker book. I get asked about this a lot. You can find this on Amazon. I was gifted this by one of my budgeting besties, and they sent me this through my Amazon wish list, okay? I have been tracking my bills for years and years and years and years. If you're new to my channel, my name is Amanda. I'm 35 years old, soon to be 36 in April. So by the time we get to May, I will be 36 years old. But I have been on a low income all my adult life. I do budgeting, cash stuffing, sinking funds. I talk about low income life unfiltered on this channel, and I don't really care what anybody's opinion is on my real life on a low income. So I'm here to show my budget because I've been showing my budget pretty much every month for the last 3 years on camera, and I'm on a journey to become a little bit more financially stable, per se. Okay, so what year is it? It is 2025, and it is April. Okay, so by the time you see this, it's going to be the end of the month, close to the end of the month. All of the bills for March have been paid in full, and we were able to successfully add money to our, I need to be able to write on this. So we were successful in saving for our emergency fund, car maintenance, and birthdays. So they got their allotted amount. I put this in my budget because otherwise I'm not sure how I would pay for things like holidays, birthdays, and emergency car maintenance. We do have 2 older vehicles, so I try to keep money in car maintenance funds in case we need to repair something, or in case we need to do some oil changes, fluid changes, brakes, whatever it may be, okay? Someone asked if I was going to save for another car in this fund. Not at this time. Nope. Okay. So our first bill, and this bill has to be paid no matter what, is space rent. So a lot of people get confused on space rent. Space rent is the land that my house sits on. I live in a mobile home park. I live in a 1966 single wide. This is the first time I've ever owned a home in particular. I had a situation in my past where I purchased, well, I was giving money to a gentleman to buy a 10-acre lot of bare land off the grid, but I've never actually owned a home before, if that makes sense, because this is the home. I don't own the land. I do pay taxes on the house. My taxes for last year were like $46 or $47, so I do pay taxes on that. The property cannot take the home for me unless I was to do what's called abandonment. And it has to be an allotment of time that I don't pay my space rent and I become unoccupied in this home, that they can then go to the county and court and take the home from me. But I'm not going to let that happen. Okay. So we have a bill due, and this date will change in 2 months, because we just signed a new lease with this property management that just bought out the park in late December, early January. For now, the space rent is due on the 10th, okay? And that amount is $550, okay? Which is same as the last month. Now, we just recently found out this can now go up 10% a year. Before, it could only go up a certain amount of years. And I believe it's still that 10%, which is Oregon state law. Okay, electric. Now, funny enough, I was paying a lot for my electricity in, and I'm sorry, I have to write this way because I'm left-handed. I was paying a lot more for electricity in the winter, but I recently had to put on the AC because we got up to 77, 80 degrees for like 3 days. So this is typically due at the end of the month. Why did I write 1 for Amanda? Okay. So this would be due on around the 23rd through the 26th is my billing cycle. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and put $280. Okay. Now I only paid $260 rounding up, and then there's also that $199 fee that my power company charges me. So that's why I kind of keep it high, because nothing's really going down yet. Not really. Okay. Water sewage. Water sewer is going to be due the same time that the space rent is due, because this is a subsidy and it is paid with the space rent, but it is a separate bill. Someone asked me why I don't just add them all together, and that's because these things are utilities. They can change. I'm going to go ahead and say $50. Okay, because I have to account for spring break and the fact that we have been taking extra showers and, running different things like the hose. I did go out and hose down the yard because we do have to maintain the grass on the property. So like they will come and cut it, but I have to make sure to water it, which I feel is kind of ridiculous. If I didn't want a green grass or a green garden, I probably just wouldn't do it. Garbage. Okay. Garbage is also due on the 10th. Now, I recently just got a recycling container with my garbage. So I believe that means it went up $5. So that would be $38. Okay. I really wanted the recycling because I don't want to have to pay for a bigger trash. They gave me 2 options, and the cheaper one is obviously to recycle, which I'm used to doing anyway. The last 2 years have been weird because I haven't been able to recycle, and I separate my garbage and recycling no matter what. It's just something I've been doing all of my adult life. Okay. Internet. And that one is due on the 27th. And this is $65. Okay. Phones. I'm kind of going off of phones. That one is due on the 25th. Okay. And that's $200. I do pay for, technically, my phones are a business account, so I can write the phones off. At the end of the year, I can write off a percentage of my phones because I do gig work, I do YouTube, I use my phone for those things. Now, $200 is not what I would write off. I would write off a percentage of both my phone and Jordan's phone. Jordan does gig working as well, so he gets to write that off as well. A portion of it, a percentage of it. So I don't actually mind paying this. I will say this, if I don't have good service, then I'm out of a job. Okay. And that's in general with all of the things that I do with my phone. My phone is worth all the bills. Okay. It's worth all the bills because that's how I've been paying my bills for the last 5 years. Okay. However, I don't make a lot on YouTube, but I still consider it part of a business expense. I do pay for a phone for my dad. He also does gig working as well. He does DoorDash for a living, so I pay for that because he really does need help with a phone. Before, he was using like a electrical taped up phone with a broken screen, and the back camera didn't work, so he had to like flip his phone around to take pictures at the door. And I was like, this is getting too crazy. You need a phone and I don't care what it costs me. And actually his phone line only cost me like, I think $43 a month. So I don't really care about that. Somebody's like, well, why don't you ask your dad to pay for his phone and then get the phones for the kids? They're not responsible enough with their phones yet to be able to have something full time. Okay. And that's just my personal opinion, even though they are going to be 11 and soon to be 14 also in April. Okay. Just because they're not responsible. I don't want to pay for something that's going to be treated like garbage. It's the same thing with allowance. If I have to clean your room and I have to pick up your garbage and you don't put your dirty clothes in the dirty clothes hamper and I find stuff strung all over the place and your room looks like a sty, I will not be giving you any sort of allowance. However, there will be an allowance system in the summer, because I feel like if they have time to do chores and clean and do all these responsibility things, which is more or less what they do, they're a little bit more interested in the value of their ability to clean and do chores in the summertime. And in the summertime, the chores are helping with dishes, vacuuming, simple tasks like feeding the dogs, walking the dogs, I don't know, the list can go on. The list can go on. Clean my car out. Usually I do a weekly clean out of my car anyway, but like I'll pay them to clean out the car. Bring out the trash, stuff, simple stuff. Okay. Next is going to be car insurance. Car insurance. Okay, and that one is due on the 23rd of every single month. We do have to pay extra on our car insurance. Why did I write an 8? This needs to be a 6. We'll just go like this, fix it this way. $226. Okay, so that's $226. That's for liability for 2 cars. However, Jordan has to have additional insurance added to his driving ability, and he drives both cars. I drive both cars. Currently, we only have one running car. I'm not going to take that one off insurance because I'm looking to get it fixed. Okay, so it went up because we have an at-fault accident. My husband was driving, not doing gig work, going to Walmart to find a Christmas gift, specifically an Xbox for my youngest son for Christmas / birthday, because his birthday month is December, and we were driving in fog, and really, really, really thick fog. I am to believe that the gentleman that we collided with, his trailer didn't have lights, because I'm telling you right now, looking back on it 100 times over, I never saw lights and I was the passenger. So, either way, it was on at fault. The insurance company covered the $11,000 some odd dollars that we owed on the 2020 Kia Sportage. So we are out that vehicle. Okay. And that vehicle is gone. So we now have 2 new to us cars, and that's what we insure. Okay. I'm not going to put credit cards on here yet because we're going to talk about a new bill. I have officially got home insurance. Okay. And my home insurance, I'm not sure when the due date is, so I'm going to leave that blank. It is going to be $68 a month. That's with the processing fee, okay? So $68 a month. I haven't had insurance this whole time that I've owned the home, mostly because I kept being told I can't, too old, not enough, no value, all the different things. But in order for us to stay in this park, part of our lease agreement is that we will hold homeowners insurance. Now, that is not going to be true for everybody in the park. So these homes in this park are 1971 and older. there are homes older than me, like, or not older than me. Of course they're older than me. Some of these houses are over, 60 years old by now. One of my neighbors has a 1962 single wide manufactured home, and the homeowner's insurance is just not doable. So I don't know what happens if that's not the case, because they want you to have, believe it or not, the insurance company and the company that they found for us, they called me today. Do you really want $100,000 in liability? Yes, sir. It is a part of the agreement with the mobile home park. Okay. So they will insure my home up to, I believe, $17,000, because we have done some upgrades to this home, some of which are the heating and the little hot water tank, or water tank. We had to replace those. And because those have been upgraded, they allowed us to finally get insurance. Because they're not going to insure you if you have a 6-year-old heating system, 6-year-old water heater, all those different things. Now, the weatherization program we went through, we paid $0 for it. The only thing I had to do is prove that we were making a certain amount of money and that we were under a certain amount of money. It is not funded from you guys as taxpayers. They get their funding a different sort of way. Okay, because I called NAST. I said, am I taking taxpayers' money? He's like, no, Amanda, this is totally different. Okay, so this is all over the United States. Other people on YouTube, specifically Karina from One Day at a Time, she's had it done on her house. Okay, so in that, I have to get homeowners insurance. Okay, so it'll cover up to $17,000 in total loss of my home. And then personal belongings are like $3,000, because that's all I wanted to insure was mostly just electronics and, refrigerator and, a stove to cook with, right? Okay. So I said, I'm fine with that. I can go up more, but that price is going to go up higher, much, much higher. Okay. So that's what I know. And then, of course, the $100,000 in liability, if something was to happen to my trailer, it covers whatever else is damaged up to $100,000. And some of these mobile homes are not worth anything without the upgrades. Okay. Most people will say mobile homes aren't worth anything, but I got this for $5,000. So anything I make after that is profit. So to me, this is an investment. I will say there have been 2 homes sold recently. We found that out through the lease signing. The one I showed you guys that was up for $35,000 sold for $32,000. And then there's another one that sold recently because they had to move state, is my understanding, and they sold theirs for $27,500. And then there's more homes in this park open for sale in about that $30,000 range. Okay, I will say with the weatherization program, I've had to give in my time. So my time to me is money. I have to take classes every time we do something different. So that way, and the classes aren't super long, but they're like 6-7 hours. Sometimes, 8. So I've had to take those. They are online courses. You can't skip through them. You have to watch them all the way through. You get a quiz. If you don't do the quiz correctly, you'll have to rewatch it all the way through. So it's best if you just do what you got to do all at the same time. Okay. So that's a good thing. I know it's an extra bill, but that is a good thing. Okay. So credit cards. This is going to be a good one as well. Credit cards. Okay. So let's add them up because I haven't ahead of time. I have notes over here. I owe $45 to one card, and then I owe $27 to the other. Those are the minimum payments. So if I add $20 a piece to that, that'd be an extra $40. So these are also due on the 17th. I pay them before the 17th because it jumps your credit score when you pay ahead. Okay, so $112 is what we're gonna allot. That is way different than $175. Okay. Then we've got personal debt. I'm paying on these personal debts. And I will tell you, some of them are, Jordan allowed me to say that some of mine are from medical, some of his are from medical. I'm paying on those so that way they're not going to bring me to collections or garnish my checks. Okay. So I try to pay, and I try to do it by the 28th of the month, $300. Okay. And the reason I'm doing $300 is because I'm trying to knock out a lot of the debt, and it's actually been helping quite a bit. Okay. I've already paid down in the last 12 to 14 months. I've already paid down about $1,200 or $1,400 in debt just doing it like this. Okay. Unfortunately, medical bills do charge you interest, but it's not very big. Okay. Subscriptions. We'll just do subscriptions. Why am I spelling this wrong? Subscript. I don't even care. My brain is dying. Subscriptions. Wow, I can't even write. We'll just say subs. I am so tired, you guys. I promise I'm a good speller. So subs would be, that looks terrible, doesn't it? These are due on the 18th. Actually, most of them are due by the 20th, but I try to make sure I have the money by the 18th. And I did knock down the one for my kiddo because he hardly used it and found out he doesn't like it. So that saved me $15 or $10. $10, Amanda. Come on, math. Okay, so we're going back down to the normal 45, which is all of Jordan's subscriptions. This is Spotify, Game Pass. Is it Game Pass? I don't know. Game Pass? I think it's Game Pass. And then also we pay for the boys to have something game-wise. Right? I think so. That's what that is. I don't care. It's $45. He's an adult. We'll pay it. It'll happen. He makes money. He gets to have $45. Okay? We are going to add all these up. We're going to do a total. Total for all of the bills and such, just so we know what we have to cover. So $550 plus $280. That noise is going to drive me crazy. Plus $50 plus $38 plus $65 plus $200 plus $226 plus $68 plus $112 plus $300 plus $45. So altogether, if I did my math right, I don't know if I did. It looks weird to me. $550 plus $280 plus $50 plus $38 plus $65 plus $200 plus $226 plus $68 plus $112 plus $300 plus $45. I guess that's right. So just to live, no food, no gas, no nothing. Our total expenses are $1,934. Okay? Which I feel like is not bad considering we're a low-income family. Okay? And then we're going to go ahead and do weekly wallets. I try to really dumb down what I'm gonna be putting towards gas, food, other expenses, spending, all the things. So I've given myself $265 a week times 4 would be $1,060. Now this $265 divided by 4. This has to include weekly gas to get to work and all the things. And then I also have to account for all the other things. However, this is subject to change. Because I might do this bi-weekly. / bi-weekly. Because I can't guarantee with the way my checks have been and how things have been. I need to guarantee all of these things first before I go ahead and say this is what I'm going to spend. Because it might vary based off of my income. Does that make sense? So this is the most I would want to spend in household, groceries, gas, which is fuel for the cars, spending, kids, all the things for the month. Okay? And I hate to say it, folks, but if you can make it off of $100 a week for, you know, that much a month, you're making it good, okay? You're making it good, because I'm telling you right now, the last time I went to the store, I had to put some things back because my 1 week grocery bill could have been like $170 with how much food is costing. That's crazy. And the funny part about it is we don't even eat all that many eggs. We don't eat a lot of eggs. We don't do a lot of, we don't do a lot of meat. We do try to eat meat 4 nights out of the week. And then the other nights of the week, we really try to eat something like bean and cheese burritos or bean dip and cheese with chips that I home make with, you know, corn tortillas, frying them. I also try my best to do pizza 1 night a week because then I can use toppings that I have in the freezer. I pre-freeze things like Canadian bacon and pepperoni because those are the 2 meats everyone will eat. We don't eat a lot of sausage. Also, I did buy a bulk thing. The last time I went to the grocery store, I didn't even show that one, you guys. I'm so sorry. I didn't even show you guys that video because I deleted it on accident. I'm not gonna lie to you, it happens from time to time. And I got this big thing of smoked sausages, and I'm going to divide them up and freeze them based off of what we'll eat, okay? Per meal, per serving, per person, okay? So usually that's about 3 of those sausages, and then sometimes I'll get Polish kielbasa, and I will cut it in half. One half will go to one meal, one will go to the other. But my total altogether for expenses for the entirety of the month, come on, calculator, be nice to me, or not. So $1,934 in bills, and then we've got $1,060 in variable expenses, wallet expenses, spending. So the spending we give each other a week is about $15. You guys have seen me stuff it 1,000,000 times over now. So if you don't believe me, go back and check it out. So our total altogether of budgeted expenses is $2,994. Okay? And I will tell you this for a fact. This number, when I lived in an apartment, used to be so much more, so much more. If we were to live there now, minus 550, we would be paying over $4,000 a month just for living. Okay? Because either way, even though I didn't have home insurance back then, I still had to pay renter's insurance. And I paid that pretty much out of pocket every single year, a year at a time. Maybe it may have been a little bit less than this, but maybe not much. Maybe like $8, okay? And our electricity was more, so I would count these two in because we had to heat and cool a bigger space, okay? So that is my monthly budget. I will zoom in pretty good for this one. So if you want to know how to budget, that's how I budget everything out. When I get my paychecks, I budget it based off of when these are due. Or when I cash out on gig work, I save, I would say, 98% of the money and put it towards whatever bills are due first. So space rent, water, sewage, garbage, they're all due at the same time. I just go, don't ask me why they said they won't take a regular check. I have to go pay for a money order to pay those bills. And you know what else really irritates me? If I was to pay those online, it'd be $21.50. Yep, $21.50. And let me tell you, bestie, that is not happening. I'm not giving someone $21.50 to pay 3 of my bills, okay? So do what you can with what you got because it's all you have to work with. I'm going to go drink a coffee and try not to crash out because I'm exhausted, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, also, we don't know about when Jordan starts his hourly job. Someone asked me if he's going to stop working, gig working to do this job. We don't know how many hours it is, so he is essentially going to be doing the same thing I am, where he's going to be working some shifts and he's going to be doing Spark as well. So I'll see you in the next one. Bye!